Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Thursday, July 18th. Eviction day. End of the camp comeback. Blindside. Possible endurance. Boy, there's not much more you could have going on tonight, is there? It was maybe a double with an endurance or something? I don't know. Yes, so strap in, buckle down, get ready. Put the kids to bed, wake the neighbors. I don't know what David Letterman used to say. Should be a good show. As of right now, Nick and Bella still, and Cliff, still don't know that most of the house plans on voting out Cliff tonight. And so you have a Blindside in the works. I don't know who else is in. I guess the evictees are not aware. They've been kept out of the loop for the most part, with the whole attitude of we can't really talk game with you. Jackson was talking with David last night, kind of intimated that you'll understand after tonight, you know, what's going on, kind of a thing, if you get back in the house. Because David and Jackson were talking, and David was kind of like, I don't want to work with you, and I think David was blowing a little bit of smoke up Jackson's tush, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. David's trying to play the game. So, what else of interest yesterday of note? Not a ton. I mean, that the debate over whether or not to keep Kat in, or to get Kat in the loop on the vote, that was hotly debated. Jackson seems to be the most strongly opposed to it. He doesn't think Kat can keep a secret. Maybe that's because Jackson has been the most intimate with Kat. I don't know. So Jackson doesn't trust Kat. But we know that Holly has a bit closer connection to Kat than some people might presume. So I think Kat will ultimately find out. Maybe just slightly before the actual eviction. The question is, can she keep her emotions in check? Her you know, that Nick and Bella won't be able to pick up on the change in information. They may just tell Kat to vote however she wants. They may tell her that she can that she should vote with them. There was a concern that, you know, if they only vote if the six. Remember, we got Jack, Annalise, Jackson, Holly, Christy, and Tommy. That's all they need is 6 votes. I mean, actually 5. Look, that means 5 votes, right? Wait a minute. I'm not going to do the math. Point is, they have enough votes in those 6 to evict. But they're worried that if they only do 6 votes, that they will pick up on the alliance. I don't know what the big deal is at this point. It's going to be a Blindside. People are going to be upset, and I don't know if the actual vote count's going to matter that much as Nick and Bella are going to be like, what the heck? So, should be interesting. It'll be 9 o'clock tonight, not 8 o'clock. By the way, Winston is on Love Island tonight. They teased that Winston was going to be on last night. He pretty much was only on at the tail end. Now, I didn't watch all of Love Island, so I think he was just on right at the very end. That might actually be interesting to watch. Winston, as annoying as he was in the live feeds with the broing up and all that, probably can be edited together as a pretty interesting character. We saw Winston on the live feeds to the point where he kind of drove us a bit crazy. But I would suspect that as a edited TV character, it would be interesting and fun to watch him. So I may have to check that out. I got it recording, so I may watch it later. Anything else? They thought for a while yesterday that it was going to be an eviction. Now, one of the sources of that rumor I watched on the feeds was Nick explaining that in the head of household, or in the diary room, they said, who do you want gone tonight? Now, I think simply they were taping something to be shown on tonight's show, tonight being Thursday's show. and they wanted it in context with the show, to be played tonight, then it makes sense. Not who do you want gone tomorrow, because Nick might say, well, tomorrow I'd like to see, and then if they played it live on the show tonight, it would throw people off. So they've got to have the tense or the time frame correct. But Nick ran with that and thought they're actually doing it tonight. And that was one of the sources of the rumor that they were doing the eviction. Plus the house guests, or the 3 evictees, got their suitcases to pack. Because 2 of them are definitely leaving tonight, and possibly all 3 of them, if whoever gets evicted tonight, which would be Cliff, manages to come back in. Still don't know what kind of a competition it's going to be tonight, how it's going to be done to get them back in, but the end of the show last night did... Oh, there we go, the show. The end of the show last night did address that 3 of them would be leaving the game. So, 2 more things I want to talk about. One is, and I tweeted this, and I also tweeted a link to a brief video clip that the Power of Cheeto posted, showing the reference that everyone's making, that Jack was in bed with his eye patches, or his eye mask on, and Tommy and maybe Christy came in to talk to him because he was crying. They're like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I can't talk about it. I can't. Legally, I can't talk about it," kind of a thing. Now, I haven't delved too deeply into this, but I've seen a couple of instances where Jack has been talking, and Jack has expressed in talking with a couple of people that there is some relationship in his past, assuming it's a female, that he is still very much hung up on. As much as Jack is, hitting on Christy and currently involved with Annalise, he has a relationship in the past that he is really hung up on, but that person did not sign any kind of a release, so he cannot talk about that person legally. And I believe he's crying about that person or something, and he was having a moment, and he's like, "I can't talk about it." I think Jack uses this whole "I can't talk about this" a bit to the extreme. I think he could talk about a relationship. He just can't say a name or anything, but he chooses to use that as a way to say, "I can't talk about it." I didn't feel any sympathy for Jackson. For Jack, I mean, that he's, having a moment, and the fact that, he's crying. Oh, another thing about Jack. He told off Holly for having a coffee cup in the refrigerator. So not just Kemi, but he also told off Holly. So the guy's just, he's Mr. Hall Monitor. All right, enough of that. The show last night. If you did not watch last night's show, and some of us would say, I don't need to see last night's show, it's just a Vito show, I know everything that happened. You might be right, but I will tell you this much. You should watch last night's show. It was actually done really well. They did as good a job as they could, in my opinion, of retelling all the goings-on that happened Friday night with Nicole, and the whole house most of the house had a household room chanting and getting fired up, and Nicole feeling ostracized, and then they got into the Bella and Nicole arguments that happened Saturday. So they did a really good job of telling all that, and so you should check it out. They actually didn't get to spend as much time as I'd hoped they would on Kat. She won the Power Veto quite handily, it appeared, and proceeded to wear that Power Veto around the house for the next 2 days. Well, they didn't show any of that, other than when Christy had her breakdown, she still had it around her neck, which was Monday morning. So, Kat, they didn't show Christy's breakdown too, which was done really well and kind of funnily, with humor, about her freaking out about Nick going to put her up, and that is just a teaser, I think, for what we could have later on when Christy actually is nominated. Oh, this could get interesting. So, last night's show, really good. Check it out. I'm hopeful that tonight's show will be pretty good. This is going to be we may look back and say, if people say, "Oh, the season's boring," we may look back and say it was really good this week. This may be the gold standard week for Big Brother 21. I don't know. We'll have to see, but it's possible. The stars are aligning for a really good dramatic show. Probably an endurance competition after. Probably lots of temper. Depending on who comes back in the house. I mean, I don't think Cliff or Ovi coming back in will create much drama. Again, I really wish Ovi had a chance to come back in, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be Kemi or David. Both of them bring different possibilities. Kemi has a lot of promise, but not much delivered so far. And David, obviously, he's kind of the same. A lot of promise, but nothing delivered. But we haven't seen him in the house as a player. We've only seen him in the house as an evictee. So David in the house as a player could either galvanize an alliance or could be the top dog and the one that everyone's going to go after pretty quickly. It's completely possible. Although now they have established, as we said on Saturday's show, that David was not the one with the book. So he was wrongfully judged to start on the show. All right. I think is that everything? It may be everything. Yeah. What time is it? Yeah, I'm running about 10 to 15 minutes every morning now is what my times have been running. Anything else to tell you? We've gotten a couple new regular patrons. Thank you that have signed up. I checked how the number of patrons we have, and I think we're up a couple. So that's nice. If any of you listened to this and had not been a patron and signed up, thank you for doing that. Those of you that are current patrons of the Big Brother Gossip Show, thank you. Do appreciate it. It's amazing the number of people that, honestly, we're only at like 145 patrons. And I know for me, now I don't know if they all listen to you. Maybe only 20 of you make it through to the end of these things. But I get over, I haven't looked in the last week, but somewhere in the range of 300 to 400 easily, maybe 500 people listening to this every day. So, we get much more. We get thousands of people listening to our podcast. And there are a wonderful 100 and so of you, 100 and a half of you that actually have gone to patreon.com, signed up to be a patron to support the show. And we appreciate it because I've said it before, and people don't realize that the number of hours that gets put into that show every week. Frankly, just me. This is show prep right here. Me watching the feeds, catching up, letting you guys know what's going on. Obviously, I'm forming my thoughts. As it happens this week, I'm going to have to help Scott out a little bit more than I have been. The past couple of years, 3 years or so, Scott has been doing the yeoman's work on the audio feeds. I used to do at least as much as Scott did on audio feeds, but I just don't have the time because of work commitments anymore. And Scott's been really carrying that load on that. I help out with a few, but he gets most of them. But this week, he's kind of busy, and so tonight and tomorrow night, I think I'm going to be pretty busy trying to get audio feeds. As a matter of fact, we may have less audio than a normal Saturday show. But point is that, it's easily, 8 to 10 to 12 to 15 hours a week prepping for that 2 hour, plus then doing a 2.5, 3 hour, plus our time. We get on we get online, we're communicating during the day on Saturday, jumping online at least a half hour early, stay online talking for at least an hour after every show, as we get the stuff wrapped up. So we're doing all kinds of stuff, and I'm going to have to pause here. Am I? Maybe not. No, don't think I'm going to have to pause. So I was leading a pack of a bunch of cars coming down the road, and there was a cop with radaring people, and I was probably going about 10 miles over the speed limit, 50 and a 40, I think. But there's about 20 cars behind me all doing the same thing. So he's not going to pull all 20 of us over, I don't think. Yep. I'm still looking at my rearview mirror going, nope, there's too many of us. So, anyways, we spent a lot of time putting it together. We enjoyed it. It is a good time. It is fun, but there are certainly weeks that I wouldn't mind just taking a pass due to other conflicts. Matter of fact, tomorrow night show, or not tomorrow, Saturday night show will be an hour later. In part because of that, because I've got something that came up, and I really am going to be doing it from a hotel room. I have done it from hotel rooms before. The strangest place I've done a show from before was in my van in North Carolina or someplace, because I didn't want to bother my wife and kids in the hotel room. So I sat out in the van and did it there. My wife is going to be in the room with me when I do it tomorrow or Saturday. And she's being a real champ with this. So, we're doing it an hour later because we've got stuff going on. Again, those of you that are patrons and supporters, we appreciate it. I do not know if we are going to play the OV thing that I did last Sunday on the show. I'm going to guess we might. Especially if OV ends up being out tonight. Because then he'll be done. But it's up there right now for patrons at any level. If you are a patron at $1, or the people that are over that are $50 or whatever, you can sign up, become a patron, and then there's things there you can listen to depending on the level. But at any level, at any amount, you can listen to my little ditty written. Well, it's not written. Come on, I just tweaked some lyrics of a song. But Ovi is singing. Kind of his swan song, assuming he's out of the house tonight. You can check it out. And we may play it on Saturday's show, though. But again, those of you that are patrons and supporters, we appreciate it. And I have now rambled an additional 4 minutes talking in circles. I'd be really good in the house. I really would. I can talk circles with the best of them. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Maybe we'll have some interesting stories to tell. Maybe there'll be a bust. Maybe they'll tell Kat, and Kat will let Nick and Bella know, and they'll be forewarned. Maybe, let's see. Maybe Cliff will get right back in the house. There's a potential for a complete bust, by the way. These things have a way of being. Remember the Buyback competition that they did the spinny thing, and basically was it David that got right back in, the dentist or something? I mean, it was like a competition that you thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be good, and it lasted all of like 30 seconds, and suddenly I think it was David was back in the house, and it was like, wow, that was kind of weak. And so these things have a way of getting built up and then being like, no fun. We'll see. I am out of here. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. No, don't have a good week. Have a good Thursday. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I will. All right? See ya.